Good evening, everyone, and a very warm welcome to the RSPB Scotland Nature of Scotland Awards 2020. They're co-sponsored by Nature Scot, and this is the first ever virtual Nature of Scotland Awards. My name's Steve Backshaw, and I'm very sad not to be joining you for a posh black tie dinner up there in Edinburgh. Let's say the posh black tie bit. Much more so the posh dinner. That is always very high on my agenda. Instead, I'm joining you from the banks of the River Thames where I live. You have to take it from me because actually it's pitch black behind me, but that is the River Thames. Wherever you all are, doesn't matter, make sure you celebrate tonight. So get yourself a glass of bubbles or some cheap fizz, maybe even a cup of tea. That's certainly what I'm going to be doing because trust me, it is cold out here. But yeah, enjoy it, celebrate. It's going to be unusual, but I'm sure it's also going to be fun. Can I start by saying a huge thank you to Scottish TV production company Mara Media for that introductory footage, which was setting the tone, absolutely dazzling stuff. And also say a very warm welcome to my co-host as well, because I am very lucky to be joined by Nature of Scotland Awards judge and BBC presenter Ewan McElwright. Hello, Ewan.
Hi Steve, and welcome to the icy northeast of Scotland. Hats off to you for doing it outside. It's too cold for me, so I've come inside beside a big roaring log fire, but it's a beautiful starry night out there. This is my 9th year of judging these awards, and it just goes from strength to strength. I thought they might struggle this year because it was an online event, but we've had bigger and more applications than ever. And because we're online, we have our biggest audience ever.
Well, that's great. Thank you, first of all, for rubbing it in by talking about the nice warm fire that you're sat beside, whereas I'm sat here in sub-zero temperatures. I hope it's nice for you in there. I mean, you talked about celebrating the outstanding achievements of our finalists. In total, the judges selected 52 people and projects to go through to tonight's final. So I bet for you all, judging was tough. Although a little birdie has told me, Ewan, that you did your judging from a boat. Is that some kind of luxury super yacht that you've been hiding away on?
It's a kind of luxury mini yacht. But it's great. I mean, there's a lot of negativity about the virus, obviously. But because management have suddenly realised that Zoom meetings exist, you don't have to drive down a motorway for 5 hours. You don't have to go in a concrete box. You can do it on a boat, you can do it on a hillside, you can do it on a beach, it's opened up. The chances to actually experience wildlife where we're supposed to experience it, rather than being inside and talking about it, it is just great. Now you can find the links to all the Nature of Scotland Awards at the Nature of Scotland Award website, and you can find out more about the huge network of environmental charities that have supported this year's event and the generous sponsors that have basically made it possible.
This evening we're here to recognise the combined contribution to Scottish nature by communities, businesses, scientists, conservation partnerships and individuals of all ages. The impacts they're making on our natural habitats and wildlife is staggering. And here's just a flavour of tonight's finalists.
Isn't that just fantastic? There's so many amazing projects out there, and we're going to go through so many tonight. But I'm also glad to welcome representatives from all of the shortlisted projects, and we've got key figures from Scotland's conservation community as well. And as I said before, going digital has meant that we've been able to open up the evening to nature enthusiasts across Scotland and around the world. It's brilliant. We've got a fantastic evening ahead of us to let us entertain you, and of course we've got inspirational stories from our projects.
So normally we would be encouraging you to get involved, to clap, to cheer, to go crazy, and I want you to feel free to do that, only obviously we're not going to hear it because we're a very long way away from you. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't do it. However, if you want us to hear, then you need to do it on Twitter. So RSPB Scotland are going to be following along, tweeting along with tonight's event. If you would like to get involved, then please do tweet. Send a picture of yourself celebrating, send a picture of yourself watching tonight's proceedings, and make sure you use the hashtag Nature of Scotland to show your appreciation and to show you care. Send your good luck messages to our finalists, or share photos of you and what you're up to, maybe even what you're wearing while you're watching this.
Now, if you've attended the Nature of Scotland Awards before, you'll know that one of the highlights of the show is the prize draw. Well, fear not, we've still got it. And it's taken the form of an online auction, open right now for bidding, and it'll close at noon tomorrow. And a big thank you to anybody who has donated an auction lot. We've been blown away by folks' generosity. And there's a lot to bid on. We've got stunning signed Peter Scott prints, a family stay in a forest lodge, and how about a cruise in the Hebrides?
Oh wow, that sounds amazing. I might have to bid for that one myself. But this is my first Nature of Scotland Awards. I'm not quite as much a part of the proceedings as you are, so I'm learning as I go with this. But we do have a record amount of people here tonight, and that gives us an opportunity, really. Please, let's make it a record year for donations as well. All funds raised will support a range of projects across Scotland's peatlands, forests and seas. View all the lots, place your bids by visiting the address on your screen. Bidding is open until noon tomorrow, so please get involved, be generous, and good luck. Alternatively, you can make a simple one-off donation by text message. So if you text RSPB Scotland, then leave a space, and then the figure you want to donate. So to donate £5, you would have RSPB Scotland space 5, and then send that message to 70450.
And feel free to have a wee peek at that auction right now, or even up till noon tomorrow. Now, before we start tonight's award presentations, we've got a video message from the head of our judging panel and the director of RSPB Scotland, Anne McCall.
Thank you so much for joining us this evening for the RSPB Scotland Nature of Scotland Awards, co-sponsored by Nature Scot. Now, I am delighted that we are able to continue this year with the fantastic celebration of conservation success stories, although in a rather different format than usual. And I very much hope that by this time next year we'll be able to enjoy an evening together, perhaps even celebrate face to face. Now, we are, as ever, so grateful to our judges and our shortlisting partners from across the conservation sector. And full details of the wonderful folk who have freely given their time for this are available on our website. Also, a really big thank you to Nature Scot and to our other sponsors who enable us to celebrate the dedicated people doing incredible things for nature conservation in Scotland. Now, 2020 has been the most challenging of years for obvious reasons, but notwithstanding the enormous trials of COVID-19 on our daily lives and on our work, it has served, I think, to clarify what is most valuable and pushed nature, environment and green space up the social and political agenda. I'm delighted that despite the difficulties, we've still been able to continue to deliver for conservation and the environment, and I hope make a bit of progress. In February, after a battle of several years, the Scottish Government confirmed that it would refuse planning permission for Cool Links in East Sutherland. Now, that is an incredible success for the Save Cool Links Coalition campaign members. And this decision, I think, demonstrated the high value that Scottish ministers place on our fantastic and incredibly diverse wildlife. And also, I think, demonstrates that development and short-term profits in Scotland can't come at such a heavy cost to nature. We also started work on peatland restoration at Anlurg on our Abernethy Reserve very recently. That's repairing historic damage to a blanket bog, but it's all taking place at over 800 metres in the Cairngorms. We got funding from Peatland Action, which was great. It will hopefully stabilise the peatland, lock in the carbon and help us meet the ambitious targets of Scottish Government to deliver net zero by 2045. Elsewhere, on Orkney, after a very short pause during lockdown, we've resumed our partnership with the Orkney Native Wildlife Project, and that aims to safeguard the unique and internationally important species there from the threat posed by invasive non-native stoats. Now, it's a really ambitious programme. It's the largest of its kind in the UK, and it will ensure that Orkney's world-famous wildlife can continue to be enjoyed by future generations of Orcadians and the many visitors to the islands for years to come. Only last week, we launched our fabulous Nature Prescriptions partnership with Edinburgh and Lothians Health Foundation. Now, that will enable GPs in the city to issue patients with prescriptions for nature as part of their treatment. And in these troubling times, I hope that this project serves to really reinforce the importance of nature in our lives and its healing potential for both body and mind. However, recent RSPB research shows that sadly over the last decade we are still failing on international targets to halt environmental decline, biodiversity loss and habitat destruction. We are not reviving our world. It is my wish that tonight's wonderful celebration of success can play a small and inspirational part in building a movement that works together to reverse that trend. I really hope you all enjoy the evening and maybe even feel inspired to start a project that will make a similar contribution.
I think so much of what Anne said there makes such great sense, such inspirational words, particularly I think the stuff about nature's healing potential and about prescriptions for nature. You know, anyone who is involved in this wonderful world as we are will know the healing power of nature, how it can be a panacea for so many of our ills, and probably now more than ever.
Now, before we present our first award, we also have a video message from Rosanna Cunningham, the Secretary, Cabinet Secretary even, for the Environment, Climate Change and Land Reform.
The Nature of Scotland Awards provide a wonderful opportunity for us all to show our appreciation and gratitude for vital contributions to nature conservation. As in previous years, I know that it's not an easy task for judges. The calibre of nominees is always so high. I certainly look forward to hearing the many success stories. And on this note, I'd like to wish all of the nominees the very best of luck.
It's great to hear from the Cabinet Secretary there, who was, of course, a Nature of Scotland Award winner herself. She won the Political Advocate of the Year Award 2018, I think, for her contribution to the fantastic reintroduction of beavers to Scotland.
If you want to feel involved with tonight, then the best way to do that is on social media. Get onto Twitter, share your photos of yourself celebrating and also messages you might have for anybody who's involved here this evening. Perhaps even make some kind of sarcastic comment about my appalling black tie and the fact that I'm doing it at the side of the River Thames. There's also more details about the auction. They are on the screen and you have until noon tomorrow to bid. Some amazing prizes.
Now, keep an eye out for our stunning Nature of Scotland Award trophies. They're fantastic. Photographer Simon Williams is taking some brilliant shots of them, so they're going to appear on the screen as part of the winner announcement. And the trophies have been designed and made by Edinburgh-based silversmith Byron Knox and supported by Turk and Connell.
Right, now we move on to the main reason that we are all here tonight. It is my great pleasure to announce the shortlist for our first category tonight, which is also a new one for 2020, the Nature and Climate Action Award. biodiversity and climate emergencies and recognises Scottish nature-based solutions. Shortlisted entries for this award showed urgency to act and had impact in multiple sectors. These projects implemented ideas or innovative technology to help fight climate change and save nature. And the shortlist for this category is Borders Forest Trust, reviving the wild heart of southern Scotland. MacArthur's Green Carbon Negative, biodiversity positive business model. Peatland Action, restoring Scotland's peatlands. Saltmarsh farming for climate resilience. Tardo's Farm peatland restoration collaboration. Working Wetlands, working with wildlife and nature. And to announce this category, I'm pleased to welcome Lindsay McQuaid of Scottish Power Renewables.
Good evening, and thank you for inviting me to present the Nature and Climate Change Award, a particularly exciting award. It's a brand new category for 2020, recognising the urgency of both the climate and biodiversity crisis. Scottish Power is particularly pleased to be sponsoring this category in the run-up to COP26. I'd like to congratulate each of the finalists for the excellent work that they've been doing to enhance and protect biodiversity across Scotland. In this category, the judges had a really tough time deciding on the winner because it was an incredibly strong shortlist. As such, it's my pleasure to announce two highly commended finalists in addition to the winner. So with no further ado, our highly commended finalists are Borders Forest Trust, reviving the wild heart of southern Scotland. Well done and congratulations to you all. And our second highly commended goes to Peatland Action, restoring Scotland's peatlands. Congratulations to you as well. Moving on to the winner, shiny envelope. The winner of the Nature and Climate 2020 Award is Working Wetlands, working with wildlife and nature. Congratulations to you as well, and I hope you all have a wonderful evening. Thank you.
Huge congratulations to Aberdeen City Council. Over the last 6 years, they've delivered a number of projects that manage surface water in a sustainable way. While taking pressure off underground drainage networks, they've also created new wildlife habitats for a range of species and green spaces for people to use for exercise and wildlife watching. The East Tullis Burn project involved the re-meandering of a heavily modified river channel into a more natural form and linked pools to increase water capacity at periods of high rainfall. They also created a new path network and planted wildflower meadows. At Seaton Park, a wetland was created to counter a recurring flood problem during times of high rainfall, which safeguards sport pitches from becoming waterlogged and roadways being flooded. The project saw the creation of 2 hectares of managed wetlands, while local volunteers planted over 30,000 wildflower plug plants. The Denburn project has seen the creation of a new wetland area designed to flood at times of high rainfall. And at Maidencraig, Aberdeen City Council also created a bund to increase floodplain capacity. Finally, they built a sand martin nesting wall and a pond dipping platform. So the project really does benefit nature and people.
Yeah, and well done to the partners there, and especially Aberdeen City Council, who've done incredible work with red squirrels. They've got red squirrels in the centre of the town. It is wonderful. But we're going to move on to the Nature Scot Business Award. Now, this category has been sponsored by Nature Scot. What we wanted to do was give recognition to businesses that are benefiting Scottish nature. It's a celebration of partnerships who are restoring habitats wildlife nature in all its forms, as well as doing it in an innovative and, of course, sustainable way. Plus, they're all reducing their emissions and carbon footprint. So well done all. And the shortlist for this category is Best Practice Environmental Sustainability in a Residential Centre, Biosphere, Good for Business, Building Biodiversity Net Gain into Development Search Results, Marine Conservation Partnerships Aiding Research into Threatened Species, Save Our Scotters, and ScotRail on the right track for biodiversity. Now, to announce this category, I'm pleased to welcome Mike Catley of Nature Scot.
Good evening, everyone, and congratulations to all the finalists in this year's Nature of Scotland Awards. For the Nature Scot Business category, we have a highly commended finalist, and that is Building Biodiversity Net Gain into Development. Congratulations to you. And the winner of the Nature Scotland Business Award is Biosphere Good for Business. Congratulations to you. Congratulations to all.
Well done to the Galloway and Southern Ayrshire UNESCO Biosphere. It's brilliant. It's been internationally recognised as quite simply a great environment for people and nature. Plus, it's the only one in the UK. And this shows what can happen if you work together. Businesses, the local community, and a whole network of agencies providing that rural development can work hand in hand with the environment. And we're all really impressed with this. It had a great impact, a real boost to the local economy, great branding and reaching out to local folk. They took that UNESCO designation and made it real. Clear objectives, results you can measure, they made it relevant. And they've really embraced it. Social media, big events and small events. 150 local businesses have signed a sustainability charter, which means a positive impact on nature. And that network share their experience, they pass on the knowledge, they make connections and look for new opportunities. The Galloway and Southern Ayrshire Biosphere shows that by working together in a sustainable way for a sustainable way of life isn't only possible, it's already happening.
A massive congratulations to Galloway and Southern Ayrshire Biosphere. Now though, it's time for the Coasts and Waters Award. To mark the Visit Scotland Year of Coasts and Waters 2020, which now also extends into 2021, this special award recognises outstanding contributions that are helping nature thrive in Scottish marine and freshwater habitats. And so the shortlist for this category is the Community of Arran Seabed Trust, that is COAST, Flapper Skate Conservation, Hitting the Spot, Targeted Trees on Tweed, the Hebridean Whale Trail, Working Together for the Waters of the Dee Catchment. And to announce this category, I'm pleased to welcome Adam Warner of Scottish Water.
Good evening. Scottish Water is delighted to support this year's Year of Coasts and Waters Award. The depth and quality of all the applications was fantastic, and thank you very much to all those that applied. First off, in the highly commended was the Flapper Skate Conservation Through Collaboration Award. Thank you very much. What a fantastic initiative. And we're on to the gold envelope. So the winner of this year's Year of Coasts and Waters Award is the Hebridean Whale Trail. Congratulations, everyone that applied, and congratulations to you.
I know I'm not supposed to have any favourites in that, but that would very much have been my choice. Huge congratulations to the Hebridean Whale and Dolphin Trust. BBC Scotland have recently filmed their project on the Landward programme, so here is a clip from Ardnamurchan.
Ardnamurchan Lighthouse marks the most westerly point on the British mainland. It's a fantastic place to spot large marine wildlife, and it's a key location for a new coastal trail. I'm meeting Siobhan Moran to find out more.
How's it going? Are you seeing anything?
Not yet. It's pretty choppy out there today. It certainly tells you why, if you translate Ardnamurchan from the Gaelic, it means headland of the mighty seas. It's pretty mouthy out there today, isn't it?
It is. So tell me about the trail then. Why was it set up in the first place?
So I work for the Hebridean Whale and Dolphin Trust. We're a conservation charity. We've been working on the west coast of Scotland for over 25 years now. This was a way for us to really showcase and celebrate the incredible places and wildlife and communities here on the west coast.
The aim of this trail is to highlight land-based viewpoints on both the mainland and the islands that are good for catching a glimpse of something spectacular. In fact, there are 33 sites in total. For Siobhan though, Ardnamurchan is particularly special.
So the seas behind me, in fact 24 different species of whale, dolphin and porpoise have been seen in these waters.
These include the killer whale, the humpback whale, the minke whale, the common dolphin, and the bottlenose dolphin, this one taking some time out at Tobermory. It's hoped the trail will encourage more people to get involved in spotting marine wildlife and recording what they've seen.
We really champion citizen science, which means just everybody out and about, walking your dog, spotting a whale or dolphin, they can report into us. We've got a sightings app called Whale Track that anybody can get on their smartphone, and it makes it really easy for people to submit their sightings.
And that research is put to good use. It helps the Trust advise on marine protection policies and encourage responsible use of our waters.
What you're looking for is a little dark fin, which even on a good day is easy to mistake for a wave.
It's almost impossible to hold the binoculars. It's so windy. It's beautiful though. I love this part of the country.
Well, that is really making me whimsical, looking at our wild, windswept frontier, one of the most dazzling spots for marine wildlife, I think in the whole world, not just here in our nation. Also, a massive shout out to my old friends RSPB on Mull as well. Missing you guys massively, especially watching that stuff back. Right, we're now going to crack on to see some of your feedback on Twitter. Let's see if we've got some photos coming from you guys who are all celebrating at home. Let's see what we've got. Yeah, quite a lot of these appear to have an alcoholic theme. There's a rather posh-looking, I think, gin and tonic there. Someone appears to be drinking a glass of Winderline, or maybe mouth freshener, I'm not entirely sure. We've got lots of people celebrating in black tie at home. I am not the only one. Thank you so much, Jason. I really appreciate it. Is that a duck celebrating? Oh no, it's a glass of champagne. Sorry, my eyesight obviously not so good. Lots of people wearing slippers. Yeah, I mean, seriously, I'm sat out here in the freezing cold. You don't need to make me feel even colder with that there. Ali, hello, a massive shout out to you. Thank you so much for following along. We really appreciate it. Is that a mug of hot chocolate with marshmallows? It gets worse. Seriously, you are just doing this to make me feel more cold, I swear it. I'm so glad that you're all getting involved, and lovely to see you all watching along here. So sorry we can't be doing this in person, but let's hope we get a chance to do this next year, because there is so much to celebrate, so much to be thankful and hopeful for in these awards.
I thought we might have got the occasional wildlife photograph, not endless pictures of empty glasses of wine. Anyway, let's get back to the awards, and the next category is the Innovation Award. And this award goes to the project, initiative or practice or technique that has aided nature conservation in the most innovative way. And we were looking for projects that are the first of their kind in something, or something that's been approached in a brand new way. And the shortlist for this category is Birding's Open Secrets, Conserving Genetic Diversity, Helping Nature to Help Itself, In Our Fourth Landscape Initiative, NHS Green Space, Better Places for People and Nature, Scottish Wildcat Action, Tweed Forum, Out with the Inns. And to announce this category, I'm pleased to welcome Jackie Savary and Nigel Pope of Mara Media, who produced that stunning film at the start of this ceremony.
It's such a privilege to be here presenting this brand new award for the Nature of Scotland Awards, the Innovation Award.
It's such a privilege to work in Scotland. It's one of the most beautiful places to film wildlife, and we're really proud to work with organisations like the RSPB and all the fantastic conservation groups that are doing so much to support the wildlife and the environment here. So, innovation is the key. Let's go for the Innovation Award.
Oh, you're going to open it and I'm going to read it. Okay, let's... Oh, and the winner of the Innovation Award is Conserving Genetic Diversity, Helping Nature to Help Itself. Well done!
Congratulations!
Yeah, we should all be giving them a virtual clap from around Scotland and around the world. Well done to everyone in the Conserving Genetic Diversity Partnership. But what does it mean? Well, I'm going to try and explain it, but if I fail, there's a wee film at the end of this that will make it much more clear how it's important. For a species survival, you need a big gene pool, a genetic diversity. It's vital. But there's no international agreement on how to conserve it. Well, what these guys have done is establish a world-first standardisation risk assessment, identifying genetic problems in the wild. And you can use that to manage responses to conserve that essential genetic diversity. Here's a better explanation.
Congratulations to everyone in the Conserving Genetic Diversity Partnership. Our next award is, I guess, one of the most important, particularly at this time in history, as we stand on a wave of young youth activism and young youth drive towards greater efforts in conservation. This is the Youth and Education Award. So this award honours school. This award honours schools and youth groups that have made a real difference to the conservation and sustainability of Scotland's wildlife. These projects need to show what they have done in nature and for nature. So the shortlist for this category is East Ayrshire Learning Outdoors Support Team, or LOST, Forest College Lifelong Learning Outdoors, Green Tweed Eco, a helping hand for Borders Nature, Newcastleton Wildlife Watch Group, Reroute, holding the key to a nature-rich future, Teeling Primary School Pond Project. And to announce this category, I'm pleased to welcome RSPB Scotland Education, Youth and Families Manager, Laura Copley.
Evening, everyone. Delighted to be here this evening. Fantastic event. I'm here to announce the winner for the Youth and Education Award, and I'm going to start by announcing the winner for the highly commended. So the winner of the highly commended Youth and Education Award is Reroute, holding the key to a nature-rich future. Massive congratulations. And so for the big award for the Youth and Education category, the winner for the Youth and Education category is Forest College Lifelong Learning Outdoors. Huge, huge congratulations and enjoy your evening.
A huge congratulations to the Forest College School there. We have a short film now to show you about the kind of things that they do.
I am Laura and we are in Lord Ancram's Wood in Dalkeith. It's kind of like a hidden gem in the landscape, I guess. So we're surrounded by residential areas like Dalkeith and East Houses and Mayfield, but it's a lovely little woodland tucked away. You might not notice it when you drive past. The project is called Forest College Lifelong Learning Outdoors, and the aim is to support people in gaining skills and knowledge in being in the outdoor environment. We're trying to, as part of the project, encourage the local community into the woodland and to see it as their asset, so their community asset. Use it in ways that they can gain education and skills from. We've used it for school sessions, we've used it for new volunteer groups, we've had public events, so welcoming in community groups like Art Club. Forest College, the motto is lifelong learning outdoors, so we're trying to give people skills and knowledge to be confident in the outdoors, not just the woods, but also, if people are interested, trying to give them a qualification that they can use to improve employability or improve their chances of getting a job with Forest Kindergarten, or a job going on to do countryside management or going on to college, so being that stepping stone for people. It's something about being like togged up in your waterproofs. It doesn't matter that it's raining, you're just out having a nice time, and people will forget that it's raining and they'll stop at lunchtime and be like, oh, it's raining, I forgot. Just because they're so involved in their activity or involved in like working together with their family on something. And yeah, it's better than being stuck inside, especially at the moment with all the COVID stuff. Just getting out and breathing the fresh air is just definitely much better, I think.
Yeah, and a big congratulations to Newbattle Abbey College and all the winners so far. Now, we're going to take a wee 3-minute break, so there's time to go and get a glass of wine, a dram or a gin and tonic. Send us a photograph of it, because everybody else is. Keep in touch. 3 minutes, and by my calculations, it'll be kicking off at 7:46, and we won't be waiting for you, so go and get a drink. We'll see you soon.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Nature of Scotland Awards 2020. Don't forget to share any of your images from the evening, how you're celebrating, how you're enjoying the awards by posting an image on Twitter with the hashtag Nature of Scotland. For the meantime, though, we have a little bit of a treat for you. So we've got something from the Nevis Ensemble, a dynamic Scottish orchestra whose mantra is music for everyone, everywhere. They've certainly lived up to that because they have performed on the summit of Ben Nevis, in St Kilda and in a farm in the Borders. The piece they prepared for us tonight, though, was performed at RSPB Scotland's Loch Winnock Nature Reserve in typical Scottish weather. So sit back and enjoy. Absolutely glorious stuff. I've just sat here and been swept away with that, dripping with atmosphere, dripping with rain, and fair play to you all as well for doing it socially distanced, even wearing your masks. Poor guy with his glasses steamed up while he was playing on, probably couldn't read the music. Honestly, I have so much respect for anyone that can create something that beautiful. Thank you all so much. I think now, though, it's time for us to move on to our next category, which is the RSPB Species Champion Award. The RSPB Species Champion Award is sponsored by the Ardmore. Our judges shortlisted people and projects that have achieved something extraordinary, from those that conserve a vulnerable or threatened species through to projects that provide a catalyst for positive change. This category demonstrates ways of working to implement policy, prevent habitat destruction, and to help create ecosystems. So here is our shortlist. We have Dr. Jane Dodd for the Flapper Skate, Glasgow Hogwatch, saving Scottish hedgehogs, saving freshwater pearl mussels from drought, the King of Fish, and the PC Project. And to announce this category, I'm pleased to welcome Alistair Longwell from the Ardmore.
Good evening, everybody. On behalf of the Ardmore, I'd first like to congratulate all of tonight's deserved nominees. I'd also like to take the opportunity to thank everybody involved in the organisation and delivery of tonight's awards ceremony. It's really fantastic that we can all come together in these difficult times and still be able to fully celebrate the nature of Scotland. This year's 2020 Species Champion Award winner is Dr. Jane Dodd for the Flapper Skate. Congratulations, Jane. Sláinte.
Huge congratulations to Dr. Jane Dodd. The Flapper Skate, Dipterus intermedius, part of the common skate complex, is the largest skate species in the world, at nearly 3 metres long and weighing over 100 kilograms. Once found commonly around the British Isles, it's now found mainly off the west coast of Scotland. It has suffered massive population reduction and localised extinction over the last 100 years and is a conservation priority. A significant proportion of Jane's time spent working for Nature Scot over the past decade has contributed towards increasing our knowledge on common skate and ensuring its conservation. The conservation of flapper skate species has been driven by tagging, started by anglers in the 1970s, and this has evolved into increasingly sophisticated research. This research continues to give insight into ecology and previously unknown behaviour of the species. The flapper skate conservation story is a great example of the partnerships between anglers, scientists, and the Scottish Government, with many other stakeholders involved. Massive congratulations.
Yeah, well done to Dr. Jane Dodd. You know, it's really scary because I'm actually filming a piece on flapper skate tomorrow, so well done her. Next up is our Conservation Science Award. And this category has been sponsored by the Scottish Alliance for Geoscience, Environment and Society. Now, this is the second year we've run the Conservation Science Award, and for this year we focused on recognising early career scientists. The award celebrates scientists whose exemplary peer-reviewed research has or more importantly, will have an impact in support of nature conservation in Scotland. We shortlisted scientists from across the full range of conservation science disciplines. And the shortlist for this category is Dr. Faye Jackson, Quantifying Climate Change Impact on Rivers. Dr. Georgios Kazanidis, Conservation of Vulnerable Marine Ecosystems. Dr. James Thorburn, Conservation Biology of Threatened Rays and Sharks in Scottish Waters. Dr. Louise Ross, Homogenisation of Upland Vegetation. Dr. Roisin Campbell-Palmer, European Beaver Restoration in Scotland. Dr. Richard Willett, Management of Forest Genetic Resources under Climate Change. And to announce this category, I'm pleased to welcome Professor Mark Inhall of SAGES.
Good evening, everyone. It's my pleasure to announce the winners of the next category, which is the Conservation Science Award for the Nature of Scotland Awards. And SAGES is very proud to be sponsoring this award. SAGES is the research pool in Scotland, which covers the geosciences, so very apt that we are sponsoring the Conservation Science Award. This year's award focuses on early career researchers, though judging by the extraordinarily high quality of the applications we received, an open competition would have yielded pretty much the same results, I'm sure, fabulous results. In fact, so much so that we have 2 commended as well as the overall winner. So I'll go now to announce the commended winners in this category of Conservation Science Awards. Here we go. So I'd like to announce the first highly commended award goes to Dr. James Thorburn for the biology of threatened rays and sharks in Scottish waters. Well done. And the second highly commended award goes to Dr. Georgios Kazanidis for understanding and conserving vulnerable marine ecosystems in Scotland and the wider North Atlantic. I go now to the winner, golden envelope, the winner of the Nature of Scotland Conservation Science Awards 2020 goes to Dr. Roisin Campbell-Palmer for beaver restoration to Britain and Scotland.
Dr. Roisin Campbell-Palmer, brilliant. Now, we have celebrated the return of the Eurasian beaver to our land many times at the Nature of Scotland Awards. I've banged the head of the Cabinet Secretary for decades about getting beavers back, more on that a bit later, but Roisin's work brought together acres of research into a practical, applied approach that the likes of journalists and politicians could understand. And that's no mean feat. And her work influenced governments and agencies like Nature Scot. She showed that after a 400-year absence, we can learn to coexist with this keystone species. I was there with the Cabinet Secretary when the first beavers from Europe were released in Knapdale in May 2009. The Scottish Wildlife Trust, the Scottish Government, the Royal Zoological Society, all taking a leap of faith on the first mammal reintroduction ever in this land. Roisin's Norway connections have enabled her to share so much knowledge, regularly publishing about beaver behaviour, ecology, genetic health, vet health and management. Until that 2009 trial, we knew zip about beaver reintroduction in this country, and Dr. Campbell-Palmer has a major part in changing all that. Picking through the International Union for the Conservation of Nature guidelines, working with field biologists, ecologists, geneticists, that Scottish project, those scientists, Roisin, well done.
Yes, massive congratulations to Dr. Roisin there. What an astounding piece of work. We are now going to move on to some of our responses on Twitter. So let's have a little look at what you lot are up to while we're here presenting these awards. what you're doing at home on your sofas. We can see there's a bunch of people there in the middle of the screen who appear to be in a horror movie, uplighting themselves. There's someone in the top right-hand corner there with a gigantic hand and finger. A massive, is that popcorn? Oh my goodness, that's making me feel hungry just looking at it. Thank you all so much for getting involved. Lots of you all dressed up nice and smart there, which I like to see, unless of course that is how you generally tend to dress on a Wednesday evening. A couple of thumbs up, thank you all very much. Someone raising a glass to the camera as well, we like to see it, and a couple there watching with their youngsters. Get them started early, that's why I always say, particularly when it comes to nature and conservation, there is nobody too young. Get them involved as soon as you possibly can. They are going to be the ones that are going to be sorting out our future for us. Thank you all so much for getting involved and for posting all these pics. It's brilliant, keep them coming because they let us know that you're listening, and also, you know, we have so much to celebrate here, so let us know that you are celebrating it with us. Now, back to the awards, and our second new category for 2020 is the Forest and Woodland Award. So the Forest and Woodland Award is being sponsored by Confor, and this award recognises those going above and beyond, placing nature and wildlife at the heart of their forest and woodland activities. The shortlisted projects include a diverse range of entries from wildlife-friendly foresters and communities making the most of their local woodlands to producers, farmers and other land managers exploring innovative new approaches which bring benefits for wildlife and for people. This award celebrates our sustainable forestry and woodland champions. So let's go to our category shortlist. We have the Alchemy of Woods, Croft Woodland Project, Ben Law's Treeland Woodland and Scrubland Restoration Project, Hitting the Spot, Targeted Trees on Tweed, Loch Truel Broadleaf Woodland Expansion, and the return of Aberdeen's Red Squirrels. And to announce this category, I'm pleased to welcome Stuart Goodall of Confer.
Good evening, everybody. I'm really pleased to be announcing tonight the winners of the Forest and Woodland Award. We have two envelopes for you tonight. We have a winner and a highly commended. So first of all, I'll open the highly commended envelope to reveal that the winner of this year's Forest and Woodland Award, highly commended, is Ben Lawyer's Treeline Woodland and Scrub Restoration Project. Well done. It's an excellent initiative up there. Turning to the main event, the winner of the Forest and Woodland Project for this year in the gold envelope is Hitting the Spot, Targeted Trees on Tweed, a fantastic project down there in the borders. Well done to you. Congratulations to everyone involved, and in particular, all you guys down in the Tweed. Well done.
Thank you, Stuart, and let us all raise a glass to those on the Tweed Forum. And we have a little taster now of that Hitting the Spot project with this short film.
My name is Luke Cummins, Director of Tweed Forum, and we are on a tributary of the River Tweed, the Allen Water, just outside Galashiels. We're working on a big canvas, so the Tweed is 5,000 square kilometres. There's about 12,500 kilometres of watercourse. work to be done, but what we do is target, in the places that really matter. You get the right measure in the right place, the right scale. And we've worked on about 10 different tributaries of the Tweed and covering, in total about 700 hectares of riparian woodland, and it's about 1.2 million trees to date. And those are native broadleaf trees that once would have lined these banks, centuries ago. The good thing about trees, and particularly riparian trees, they have a number of multiple benefits. So they help mitigate against climate change, they reduce flooding, they improve water quality through filtration, they improve the fishery and the numbers of returning salmon, they improve the landscape, the sense of place, the recreational value, and more importantly, we're locking up a lot of carbon now. It's basically to address a lot of the damage in the past, habitat loss. We've got increased flooding with climate change. We've got water quality issues. There's pressures on the fishery as well, the salmon fishery, which is enormously important. We are rebuilding an ecosystem that has been lost quite a long time ago now. But what we have to weigh it up with is integrating that into a working landscape. So there's farming and forestry are very important here. But what we're finding, and this is what the work of Tweed Forum is all about, is you can find that compromise on bits of land that aren't perhaps that important, and to the farming system, and you can create meaningful areas of woodland that will make a tangible difference downstream.
And congratulations to the Tweed Forum. That is just such a brilliant project. And I think I made the correct decision about coming in to the warmth of the fire, looking at Steve's breath freezing in the icy blast there. But now it's time for our penultimate award of the night, and that's the Community Initiative category. And this award has been sponsored by Green Power. And what we're trying to do here is recognise an outstanding community-based initiative that benefits nature. And our winning project is one that's developed and led by the people it serves, acting as inspiration for others and offering real value to the whole community. Now, the shortlist for this category is Abriacan, a communities woodland, Bar Mill Conservation Group, Castle Milk Park Volunteers, Pause on Plastic, Speyside Fields for Wildlife, and the Uri Riverside Park. And to announce this category, I'm pleased to welcome George Baxter of Green Power.
Good evening, everybody. Green Power is absolutely delighted to be the sponsor of this year's Community Initiative Award, an award that we sponsored for the last 7 years, in fact, and absolutely delighted to be associated with the Nature of Scotland Awards. This category has been extremely difficult this year. So many communities doing so many amazing things, and it was so difficult for us to choose a single winner that the panel felt that really 2 projects, which could have been winner in any other year, had to get some kind of commendation. So before I reveal the winner of the Best Community Initiative Award, I would like to just reveal 2 highly commended projects. First of all, commended the Speyside Fields for Wildlife, community effort for wildlife, fantastic project. And secondly, highly commended the Castle Milk Park Volunteers, unique green space for all. Now, the big prize, and they had to be good to beat those 2, that's for sure. So this project, the winner of the Community Initiative Award 2020 Nature of Scotland Awards is our Brechin, A Community's Woodland. Fantastic project and very well done.
And a big congratulations to everybody in a Brechin Forest. Now, recently my colleague Dougie Vipond on Landward made a short film about what the community has achieved there.
I'm here at a Brechin Forest on the north end of Loch Ness. In 1998, the Brechin Forest Trust made one of Scotland's community forest buyouts with the purchase of 540 hectares of this area of open hill and woodland. The Trust is currently in the running for the RSPB Nature of Scotland Community Initiative Award.
So you see on your right, Dougie, there, this used to be mainly lodgepole pine and Sitka spruce commercial tree species.
I'm meeting Trust member Sam Hesling to find out why.
An awful lot has happened here, really. There's been a significant level of investment. It's basically been opened up so visitors can enjoy it. There's over 40 kilometres of trails for walking and cycling. A lot of projects have been undertaken to increase levels of biodiversity as well. In excess of 200,000 native trees have been planted, habitat's been improved, there's been wetland creation.
Brechin is home to around 130 people. And one of the Trust's flagship projects is the outdoor nursery. Children aged 3 to 5 can come here for outdoor learning and play.
I hope we made enough pancakes.
My eldest daughter comes here and she loves it. It was funny last night, we were laughing at the state of her jacket. It's absolutely clattered in mud, and basically the more clattered she comes back, you know, the better time she's had.
And there's lots of interest for older kids too, and for adults.
There are countless little buildings and things just tucked out the way for people to go and find in their own time. Bronze Age hut, there's a shieling, there's even an illicit whiskey still as well. Yeah, you have to go and find it.
What a joyous, inspiring place that looks. I have to say, as a relatively new dad, I would give anything to have somewhere like that nearby. What an absolute joy. Huge, huge congratulations to all of you. What a wonderful, wonderful place, and very, very deserved for your award. Right, Ewan, should we have a look at a few more of what people have been posting on Twitter? What have we got? We've got the
yeah, you get them up and let's have a wee
so
look.
the bottom there, we've got the Blues Brothers. Oh, a Blues brother and a Blues sister, it looks like. More people with their slippers on, enjoying things. It looks like Brechin Forest there have they're being represented by a bunch of cuddly toys. I'm not really entirely sure what that says about them. Sarah there with her youngsters staying up, battling through onto the end. You stay, keep coming. You know, there's so much still to celebrate about the nature of Scotland in these awards. Thank you all so much for staying up. Who else have we got there? We've got someone from the D of E in the centre there. Yes, representing for the Duke of Edinburgh. And someone who is almost completed what seems to be the world's largest pizza and a bottle of whiskey. Now, that is my idea of a night in. Okay, so we've come to our final award, and as always, this is a really special one. This is something that is literally a lifetime in the making, because this is the Lifetime Achievement Award. So this award honours a person who has dedicated their life's work to wildlife and conservation. Without further ado, the worthy winner of our 2020 Lifetime Achievement Award is entomologist Mark Young.
I'm not going to spare his blushes. Mark is a genius. He's one of the best communicators about the natural world on the planet. I've interviewed Mark and he's just a delight. We had him on our radio programme Out of Doors on BBC Radio Scotland recently with a moth trap that my colleague Mark had made. It was pretty rough and ready. But listening to Mark's knowledge and his ability to make moths sexy is just invaluable. We came off air and the entire production team went, wow, what a great talker. As a lecturer at Aberdeen University from the 1970s till 2012, he's taught and he's inspired so many that are active in conservation today, probably a lot of people who are watching this tonight. Now, I realise I can't see the audience tonight, but I know there's loads of folk out there nodding and saying, yeah, good decision, guys.
Making moths sexy sounds like my type of guy. Mark's activities have had real impact. He's played an active role on the Scottish Government's Advisory Committee for SSIs for 20 years. He sat on the North Board of SEPA for 6 years and was a council member of Scottish Wildlife Trust for 14 years. I mean, this is a serious body of work we're talking about here. He's also remained instrumental in recognising the imminent extinction threat of the UK's sole remaining population of New Forest burnet moths, which are in Argyll.
Books, papers, radio, television. Mark has contributed so much to our understanding of the natural world. And he's a nice guy, and that approach, his people skills have allowed him to achieve so much more.
So let's hear from three of the people who know Mark well and have been inspired by all he's achieved for nature conservation. And then we're hopefully going to be joined by the man himself.
I nominated Mark Young. He's had a huge contribution to conservation, both from a kind of local perspective right up to a national level.
I'd read a book by Mark called The Natural History of Moths, and it was part of that book that inspired me, in part, to come to Aberdeen to do the Masters. So Mark was teaching on the Masters, I met him through that, and then he supervised my dissertation project on the Masters course. He's a fellow moth enthusiast and as a friend.
I first met Mark as an undergraduate in 1974. I took a unit in freshwater ecology that Mark ran, and the things that struck me were that, well, I learnt a lot about freshwater ecology for a start, and the second thing was that he didn't mind me storing my lunchtime can of beer in the nets we were using to girdle about in ponds.
Real scientists at heart, but he's been able to translate a lot of that science, I think, into real conservation delivery. So moving from the detailed research elements, building toolkits to help save species.
What's it like being in the field with him?
Always a learning experience, got vast amounts of knowledge. He's very generous with that knowledge, constantly able to spot things, able to find things that, whenever anybody else has given up for the day.
I've never known him get cross or angry about anything. He's a good sense of humour. And I think the other great thing, he has that great quality of a teacher. He's great at motivating people.
If you were to say something directly to him on the night, what would you say, do you think?
I would just say, well done. Thank you for letting me cool my beer in Loch Mick using the freshwater ecology nets, and well done on rediscovering the Glentanner beetle in the car park.
On a personal level, say thank you very much for the wise words of advice he's given over the years. And thanks very much for the moth cabinet that I acquired off him many years ago and now has pride of place in my office.
In terms of a lifetime achievement, well done, Mark. He deserves it, and hopefully he'll go on imparting this kind of vast knowledge that he's got and helping us in conservation for a long time to come.
Well, what a wonderful, touching film, and truly an incredibly deserving recipient of this Lifetime Achievement Award. Mark, I hope that you've seen those lovely things that people have to say about you and are very, very proud. You should be. I do, though, have to ask about the beetle in the car park. Can you tell us the story?
Well, I was in Glen Tanner, which is the most wonderful native pine wood, and I had with me some really eminent coleopterate beetle enthusiasts from down south from London. And they were desperate to see a rare beetle whose larvae live in the tree stumps of dead pine trees. And they'd come all the way from Glen Tanner, its only site, to see if it was still there and still doing okay. And while we were waiting in the car park for the ranger to appear, we poked around in some of the dead wood at the edge of the car park and found the beetle there, let alone up in the pine wood in the pine forest. But anyway, there we are. It was a very good day.
Sensational. So you didn't have to go out scrabbling around, you just saw it in the car park and then went to the pub?
No, we went up into the pine wood as well and had a great time up there. So, but it was a lovely day, absolutely.
Steve, do you get that sense of achievement? Sorry, Mark. For you, so many young people have been inspired, as I said before, to be young people and older people watching this tonight who are doing their job, possibly because of meeting you and being inspired by you and enthused by you. I mean, you must get a belt out of that.
Oh, I absolutely love that. I mean, I've worked a lot with moths and with freshwater invertebrates and Lord knows what else. But in some ways, the thing I'm proudest of is all of the people I've worked with and all the students that I've had the great pleasure to teach. I love outdoor teaching, ecology and conservation. Many master's students and honoured students and PhD students. And over the years, many of these have gone on now and are in quite senior, important positions in the world of nature conservation. And I suppose they're my legacy in many ways. Gosh, I do feel old when I say that, but you see what I mean. And I absolutely love it when I meet them, and that's a great thing. I've really enjoyed that all my life.
So many people that you've taught over the years have reached high places themselves. To some of those who are still at the start of their journey, to the young aspiring conservationists, do you have any words of wisdom for them?
Well, first of all, they will enjoy themselves. And that sounds an odd thing to say, because if you're a conservationist, of course, we live in times of climate change, which is going to cause problems, and we've been losing biodiversity. But of course, if you're working on something you're passionately interested in, you will really enjoy yourselves. Get yourself some qualifications, but more particularly, meet people who are fellow enthusiasts, because if you really want to achieve things or you want to enjoy doing it, having people to share with, it'll improve your morale, it'll improve your knowledge, and everything will go better. And I've had so much fun over many, many years with other volunteers, people who are as enthusiastic as I am about freshwater invertebrates or butterflies and moths. So that's my advice, I think.
But how would you get folk at that really early stage when they're maybe starting out in their scientific career? They don't know where to go. You're saying, come and look at my aquatic larvae, and somebody else is saying, come and look at my charismatic megafauna, tigers in the Sahara. How do you get, because once you get into that insect world, it's fascinating, the world of ants and creepy crawlies, but how do you grab them right at the start?
Well, I think you've said it in some ways. If you have somebody with you and you can show them some of these insects, some of the caterpillars or some of the beetles or some of the whatever else they are genuinely so interesting, so exciting. It's still a miracle, isn't it, when you think of a butterfly with an egg and then a caterpillar and then a chrysalis, and then, for goodness sake, a butterfly comes out of that, and you think back to the caterpillar. So there's such excitement and the imagination that you put into those, and they are so beautiful. So I think that once I've got them in front of me, as it were, with the animal, with the creepy crawly, then I don't have any trouble with converting them to being interested in that. One of my nominees, and I'm so grateful to them, thank you so much. One of my nominees worked on wood ants, Nick Littlewood. And as soon as he saw wood ants, really, and saw what they could do, then he was hooked. I'm not against people being interested in larger animals and birds and things. I'm so thrilled when they are. But as soon as you see what these little animals can do and the excitement you can get from them, and the importance, and of course the other thing to say is, so many of them are so important in our ecosystem, whether they're pollinators or predators or food for other things or whatever they are, then there's no difficulty in selling it when you've got them there. So I've never had a problem with that. And I would, it starts really young, doesn't it? Because when you have younger children and you can't take them all to Africa and show them an elephant, but you can show them a caterpillar, or a tadpole, and that's when you catch their attention.
Do you, by any chance, have the award there right now? Can you hold it aloft for us as a fitting way to bring our celebrations to a close?
I have it here. I'm thrilled to get it. I have the lights catching on it, but there it is. And I'm so pleased to get it. Thank you so much to my nominees, to RSPB and the others on the judging panel. And a special word of thanks to all the students over these many, many years who've shown some appreciation of what I've been trying to teach them. It's been a great time.
Fantastic, and just so well deserved, Mark. Congratulations. Well, we've almost reached the end of our 2020 Nature of Scotland Awards. We hope you've enjoyed it, you hope you've been inspired, and just see what people can achieve. I'm pleased to say we're able to show a message from my fellow Nature of Scotland Awards judge and the CEO of co-sponsor Nature Scot, Francesca Oskowska.
I'm so pleased to be able to speak at the Nature of Scotland Awards this year, and what a wonderful ceremony it has been. Throughout the year, we have been adapting to a new way of working, and these awards are no exception. Praise is due to all the organisers and participants for creating such a successful online event. And congratulations to all you winners. Really well done to you all. This has been a big year for us in so many ways. I'm sure we have all had highs and lows. Many of us are facing uncertainties in our lives. But with uncertainty can also come opportunity. And I want to talk a little about that tonight. We all face the challenges brought by the current global situation, as well as all still striving to enhance our nature. In my organisation, we have also taken the opportunity to rebrand from Scottish Natural Heritage to Nature Scot. We wanted nature to be at the forefront of our brand, our name, and our work. Why now? We know that Scotland was the first nation to declare a climate emergency. Within days of that, a global assessment of biodiversity loss emphasised that climate change and nature degradation are intrinsically linked. This really brought home to us the importance of putting nature at the heart of everything, the transition to net zero, investing in nature-based solutions to climate change, helping to drive the economic recovery. As we look forward to a time when we move out of this pandemic, we know there must be a focus on economic recovery. It really feels this is an absolute, opportune and critical time for nature to be at the forefront of decision-making, and an opportune and critical time for all of us to make sure that this happens. This is partly what makes these awards and those involved so important. We have been proud sponsors of the Business Award for several years now, and it is always very encouraging to see the ways in which sustainable business is promoted by our category entrants. Through lockdown, we've seen a big increase in people spending more time in nature and developing relationships with the environment on their doorstep. We want to make sure that this positive behaviour continues post-pandemic. The more we can get people engaged, the more likely it is they'll relate to nature and appreciate its positive benefits, not only in their own lives, but in wider decision-making, working together towards a nature-rich future. We want Scotland to be recognised as a world leader in looking after and enhancing nature, in the same way it's already lauded for its leadership in tackling climate change. It's been a challenging and difficult time for many during the pandemic, but people have been rethinking what's important to them, how nature applies to them, and we're determined that that should be the focus in Nature Scot. I have no doubt the very inspiring people here today will be front and centre of leading a green recovery to a net zero economy and promoting a society that values well-being. And there has never been a more opportune time to do so.
And a big thank you to Francesca for sending us that wee film. And a brilliant thanks to everybody who's been in touch on Twitter, sending us photographs of gin and tonic, cuddly toys, slippers. I thought we'd get one at least on wildlife, but apparently not.
And of course, a huge thank you to everyone who has made a donation through Text to Donate or taken part in the auction. You can still make a one-off donation by text message. So text RSPB Scotland, leave a space, then the figure you want to donate to. So if you want to donate £1 million, then it's RSPB Scotland, space, then 1 million. Maybe you don't have to go that much. Space and then 5, space and then 10. We'll take it, seriously. Send your message to 70420, and thank you so much in advance. These details are also on the auction website. The address is on the screen now. There are such a lot of fantastic prizes there on offer. The Hebridean cruise particularly caught my eye, so make sure you take a look. The website is open till 12 noon tomorrow. And can I say another massive thank you to all the people who have donated prizes.
Yeah, on behalf of the judges, RSPB Scotland, the co-sponsors Nature Scot, thanks again to our Nature of Scotland Awards sponsors, the lovely team at the Make Edinburgh Live team, because they've worked miracles. I've sucked the internet in for 20 miles around to get this picture down to Edinburgh, so it's been fantastic. And of course, you guys who've entered into the spirit of it, the audience, thank you. We're going to round off tonight with another inspiring collection of nature moments from the TV production Mara Media. And look out, they've got a new film coming out on the BBC later this month called Stormborn. But this is going to be great.
So the Nature of Scotland Awards 2021 will open for applications in March. So get your thinking caps on, get started, get those big projects out there happening. It's going to be a big year as we'll be celebrating 10 years of recognising and celebrating nature conservation in Scotland. This has been a tough, tricky year for so many reasons, and there's a lot of talk that during periods like this, during times when we are challenged economically and through big crises, that altruism tends to slip. But let's not make it that way. You know, the things you are doing now are more important now, not less. So stick with it, because you are all giving us very, very good reason to have hope. Take care, you all night, and a very good night from the both of us.